Hello everyone, very good evening. Just a minute, let me open the our Snowflake account. Okay, good. In the last session, what we have done, so we saw that how to work with the masking policy, right? So we created a roles, and then we assign the roles to the specific users, and then role based access control. We saw that how to implement data masking. Now let's discuss about the pricing model before going to resource monitoring. Resource monitoring is nothing but it's a controlling the billing of credit limits. So how the Snowflake is going to charge? Snowflake is going to charge based on pay for use, all right? Whatever you are using, based on that they are going to charge from the users. Okay, this is fine. So before that, you need to understand how the Snowflake is going to charge, and then what all the services Snowflake will charge. What we know till now is for 1 hour utilization of your compute resources, it means for the processing level compute resources, it is going to charge around $2, right? So $2 we are going to consider this 1 hour utilization. So this is computation resources, $2. This is for extra small, virtual, warehouse, extra small, virtual warehouse, excess virtual warehouse, then it will be $2. If it is warehouse size increases, then what will be the charges? How to calculate? And at the same time, it is going to charge one um, 1 month for 1 terabyte of the storage. It will charge in between $23 to $40. So this is a calculation, guys. But based on what all the parameters it is going to impact. Now let's say this is our computation layer, right? This is our computation layer. So when we are using this the computation layer, it can be test or compute warehouse, whatever it may be, how it is going to be charged. So now if you observe here, the warehouses we have only two warehouses what we are having, right? One is compute warehouse, another one is test warehouse, what we created for testing purpose. Now generally, when you are working in organization, you will have multiple virtual warehouses. Like, let's say, come here, for developers, you will have separate virtual warehouse. For all the testers, separate virtual warehouse. For data load concept, separate virtual warehouse. For example, in the next sessions, we will see how to work with a continuous ingestion data loading, automatic data loading, continuous ingestion process, that is load process. So each and everything will have separate virtual. It means suppose in a team we have 10 members of developers. Let's assume that all the 10 members will use this developer virtual warehouse. So you have 2 to 3 testers, they will use test virtual warehouse. We have some users, they will use, and then load, the load is happening, they will use load virtual warehouse, and then the users also they will use this particular virtual warehouse, right? So they can create the virtual warehouses like this, and they will assign it to that. This is fine. So now coming to the another thing. Okay, these virtual warehouses, how much time we are utilizing, based on that it is going to charge. What are the other parameters it will be charged? And then, so if you want to see that the pricing model, so let's come to this we need to understand so clearly, because so if any user come to Snowflake and they are working on Snowflake, they need to know how the Snowflake is charging. Then they will use the Snowflake. So they will not use Snowflake unnecessarily. So for unexpected the charges, it will be reduced. So they will use the Snowflake properly. Now let's come to this one, pricing model. What are the things we have? Pricing, Snowflake pricing model, Snowflake pricing model. Just observe this. Come to this one. See this one. So we have computation, and then for processing, let's come here. Let me show you. So if you select any platform, and what are the editions we are having? Snowflake, it is not licensing, right? So we can say that it's a editions based on the, it means it is not a versioning kind of thing. So we have a editions here, like enterprise edition, standard edition, business critical edition, and then VPS, virtual private Snowflake. This virtual private Snowflake, it is not supported in all platforms and all regions. So you need to, if you want to know the pricing, you need to so raise a request. So for the support team, then they will tell us what is they are charging. Now observe this one. When you change the cloud platform, and then when you change the region, these prices will vary. Observe, suppose let's assume we are using enterprise edition. Now when you observe this, how much of the credit limits? 3, right? Let me change, and one more thing. This is for the storage per terabyte per month. See this one, $40. For capacity, we can call it as a pre-purchased also. So this is for $23 per terabyte, right? So now let's come to here. Let's change this Google Cloud Platform. So when you change this, now let's observe. Observe this. So there is no change. Now let's come to region. Select the region. Okay, we didn't select the region. See this one, 2.70, $4, 5.40. Can you able to see the this VPS? No. And then observe the storage cost. This is the storage cost. So based on database size. And let's change it to other one, Azure platform. And then region, you can select anything. Come to this. See this one, 2.60, 3.90, and then 0.20, and on demand, and then capacity, right? And so when you observe, so more, let me go to the pricing model and detail. Observe this one, for the storage, for virtual warehouse, and another thing for the cloud service utilization, for cloud service utilization. But if you come to this cloud service utilization, almost it will be considered as a free service, because if you observe, let me show you this one. See this one, when you are using computation charges, virtual warehouse, utilization of cloud services, 10% of the daily compute credit is included free, right? So most of the customers will not see incremental charges for the cloud services. Almost we can consider these cloud services as a free. So based on, so virtual warehouse utilization, this is for the compute resources. Now observe, so this is the sizes for virtual warehouse when you are creating. When you're creating, so this particular thing we will call it as t-shirt sizes. T-shirt sizes. Here, if you observe, what is the default one which we are using here is compute warehouse. Observe this one, extra small, extra small, right? When you are using this extra small, it is going to charge for 1 hour utilization around $2. Suppose if you change it from extra small to small to medium, it is nothing but you are increasing the size of the virtual warehouse, you are increasing the servers, you are increasing the performance. So that is nothing but when you are increasing the size till you can increase up to 4x large only. You have 5x and 6x also. These are in review, still in review. We cannot use this at this moment. Now, so extra small to so 4x large, we can able to use this. Now, based on this, for example, if you are using so extra small, 2 credits per hour, 2 credits per hour. It means per 1 credit, it will be $1. Sorry, $2. For 2 credits, 2 multiply by 2. For so 4 credits, 4 multiply by 2. So for 1 credit, it will charge $2. So when each and every size increasing, it will be multiplied by 2 always. Now observe this one. These are the so sizes of virtual warehouse. Nothing but how many servers they are using in the backend. Okay, let's assume that. Now let's come to the cloud services. So there will not be a charges. And this one coming to the storage. So this we have other features like so snowpipe replication. These things we will see in the coming classes like materialized reviews, clustering, and then search optimization service. All these are serverless features. It means see this one, additional serverless features so compute resources and so consume snowflake credits when they are using these features is available, but it will not be chargeable until unless if you use, then only they will take a charges. Okay, there will be a separate charges for the snowpipe for continuous ingestion. There will be separate charges for the materialized view. Okay, there will be separate charges for the so clustering, separate charges for so search optimization services. These features is available, but they are going to charge separately for these things. Okay, now this one editions we discussed about like standard and then enterprise business critical VPC. Based on selection, it will be changed. Now observe this one. So based on region, and so if you select the region AWS and this particular region, see this one, standard, these charges, enterprise, and then business critical, these are the charges. And one more thing, see when you observe this, so we have another thing like data transfer charges. Data transfer charges, when you observe this one, this is capacity pre-purchased or capacity. This one is another one is on demand $40 per terabyte. Now which one is the best one? Now observe this, pre-purchased is $23 per terabyte per month. On demand is $40 per terabyte month. So by seeing that, so what we can consider? So we can consider always pre-purchased, they are taking very less amount. But we cannot go blindly for pre-purchased. First, initially, when you are purchasing like 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 months, they will go for on demand based on utilization. So based on how much so load is happening. So what is the virtual warehouse we required? So based on the analysis, right? So based on so data load and then so how much data we are utilizing, based on that, so we will so go for so pre-purchased first 3 2 months 3 to 4 months. They will not directly blindly go for a pre-purchase because assumption may go wrong assumptions may go wrong, and then you end up with paying more amount. Now let me show you scenario here. So for that particular thing, now observe this carefully. So we have two guys here. One, so their assumption is 100 GB of the storage would be required per month. Their assumption is 100 GB. First person is 100 GB per month for the storage. And they selected, let's assume that pre-purchased plan. What they selected? Pre-purchased plan they selected. Okay. And so what is the actual consumption they are using? Observe this, 20 GB. Actual consumption is 20 GB. So when they are selected pre-purchased plan, so what is the amount they have to pay? Let's assume on an average $23 per terabyte. $23 per terabyte. So this is the charges. When it is $23 per terabyte, so how much they need to pay for pre-purchased? Their assumption is 100 GB means they need to pay for 100 GB, right? 1 terabyte 23 means for 100 GB 0.1, right? The pricing will be $2.3. So this is so based on so 100 GB of the utilization assumptions. Okay. Now another guy. So 10 GB. 10 GB storage would be required. Their assumption is only 10 GB. So they selected on demand. But when it is coming to actual consumption, actual utilization per month, they are using only 20 GB per month. They are using 20 GB per day per month. Okay. Then what will happen? See this one. So 20 GB. Okay. After utilization per month. So 10 GB. How much they need to pay for 5? So 20 GB. Right. So 20 GB means 0.02 multiply 40, because they are going to pay only for utilization, right? 0.8 dollar 0.8. See this one here. So dollar 2.3. So we are paying more here because our assumptions is wrong, right? So that's why. So first 3 months when any organization they are taking, so snowflake editions or snowflake, they are going for the snowflake, they will not go blindly for the pre-purchased or so this on demand. So first 2 to 3 months they will observe so what exactly so it suitable for them, and then so they will analyze so what is the data load so for on a regular basis. Okay, for 2 to 3 months they will see, then they will come to know for one conclusion. Based on that only they will decide so how much so data storage is required. So based on that, they will go for a so exact. For example, if it is near to 400 to 500 GB, then they will tell them so 400 to 500 GB. So they will pre-purchased so before. Okay. So and when they are pre-purchasing, it will be for 1 year. They need to pre-purchase. Okay, that is the uh, concept the snowflake is having. So that is a pricing model. Okay, 1 year they need to purchase, so pre-purchased. Okay, let's come to this another thing. Okay, apart from this you will have data transfer charges. Data transfer means so this is nothing but suppose you are using, but at this moment of time no, so any organization is so not implemented this. So than my knowledge, suppose if you are in so as AWS platform, now going forward, so maybe after 1 or 2 years down the line, your company, your organization had so a official partnership with Azure. Okay, and then they are having some special pricing discounts, and then the complete the organization they are so going for the Azure. Okay, then so initially they utilized AWS, they have implemented everything in AWS. Whatever the data is available in AWS, they need to move it to Azure. Let's assume that. Then what they have to do? Data transfer they need to implement, right? Suppose so you purchase, let's assume that your personal data completely available in your laptop, now current laptop. So after 1 or 2 years you are going to purchase a new laptop. Then what you have to do? Whatever the data is available in your laptop, you need to move it to other one, right? The complete data. That is so here the same concept here. So if you are using AWS, if you want to move to Azure, or if you want to move to GCP, or region to region specific within that particular platform, if you want to move to one region to another region, so based on security security so purposes or security reasons. So then also the charges will be applicable one region to other region. So now if you observe this here, let's observe this one. See this AWS cloud. Within the region there will be no charges. Let's assume that within one country you will have multiple states. So within country, if you move it the data to the within any states, there is no charges. Okay. Now if you observe here also, come to the account, come to the average storage used. See this one, storage used. This is fine. So the data transfer. See this one, data transfer by day, excluding free transfer from account to Southern, because we created this particular account in AWS Asia Pacific Southern. See this Asia Pacific Southern, Asia Pacific Southern. Within the region, there is no charges. If you go outside the region, observe this, transfer to different region, there will be a charges. Again, transfer to other cloud, there will be a charges. AWS to Azure, AWS to GCP, there will be charges. Again, based on per terabyte of the data. So if you transfer, how much they are charging, they have the prices. Same way, observe Azure. Azure also, so same kind of thing. So region to region and region to some continent, they have some different terminologies, and then different continent and then different cloud provider. So there will be different charges. Same way GCP. Observe GCP is having only limited regions. Only 3 regions is available, right? Here they are calling as regions and same continent, different continent. So Oceania, and then same continent and different continent, different thing. So these are the charges for the data transfer, but no one has implemented this. So now coming to this one, let's say we will see one pricing example. It means suppose any specific user came to us and they asked, I will give you the requirement. I will give you requirement. Can you tell me, so what is the pricing? So I need to pay for Snowflake for my requirement per year. Based on that, I will compare my current things and then Snowflake. Then I will decide so whether to go for a Snowflake or not. Okay, so in that particular situation, we will get the complete requirement from them. So what exactly they are doing on current systems, current on premises. Then, so we will so calculate the pricing. Then we can so give it to them. This is the pricing model. So this is the pricing. So maybe per 1 year, you are going to be charged. Okay, based on that, they will decide. Based on that, they will calculate ROI. So how much they are spending at that current, and then how much so Snowflake is going to be charged. Based on that, they will decide, right? And then what are the futures Snowflake is giving? So they will consider all the futures. Then only they will decide. Now let's come to the example. We have like 2 examples. We'll go with one example. So on an example, I will send it to you. You can go through that. Now let's observe how it will be charged. Now this is the requirement from the, let's assume that from the user or client. So they have purchased Snowflake capacity standard service. Let's assume that standard capacity means nothing but pre-purchased. And so it is United States, region is US. And so load every night they have a load, and 8 users, 8 users means 8 persons are working on Snowflake. Okay, and so they are working so only business hours. Okay, then if you go in depth elaborate it, stores average 4 terabyte of data per month. It stores 4 terabyte of data and runs this batch load every night 2.5 hours. It means every day the data loading is happening. It can be from AWS or from so other platforms. So now this one will charge 2.5 hours using small virtual warehouse. Small virtual warehouse. Small virtual warehouse means $2, $2 per credit, right? Okay. And 8 users working 5 days, only weekdays. Let's assume that on approximately 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 10 hours, right? And these users are utilizing medium standard virtual warehouse. This is their high level so requirement. For this, if you calculate, observe this data load daily, and so we are going to so calculate small standard virtual warehouse $2 per credit and 2.5 hours, right? 2.5 hours, 2 credits, 2.5 hours, and approximately consider so 31 days, and then it will come around 155. 155, this is credits, 155 credits, right? This is not in dollars. So we calculated this per month for the data load, 150 credits will be utilized. Okay, this fine. Now coming to user requirement. How many users we have? 8 users. They are working 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 10 hours, right? So when you come to this, these users are utilizing medium virtual warehouse. This is the speed, right? And coming to that, 4 credits, 10 hours per day, 8 users, and 20, 20 hours per month. Sorry, 20 days per month. Now observe this one. Then it will be 800 credits, right? So because these users are working so only for weekdays, right? It means only working days. We can consider 20 days per month, right? So when you observe this 20 days per month, so 4 credits, 10 hours per day. They are using 10 hours per day. Then it will be around 800 credits. Now, if you calculate both users and data load, 800 credits, 155 credits, totally 955 credits. Totally 9. Don't get confused here. So here we have 8 users means we will not calculate based on so each user. All the users may assign to any one virtual warehouse, right? All the developers can assign to one virtual warehouse. Then based on that, so it will calculate, right? How much time you are utilizing. So based on that, we are calculating here also. Now, this is the credits, 955 credits. Now come to storage, 2 terabyte storage, 2 terabyte storage after compression. And when it is coming to so 4 terabytes, sorry, 4 terabytes, $23. This one, so we are considering as pre-purchased, right? Pre-purchased. And storage, this is for 12 months. 12 months per 1 year we are calculating. Okay. So this is fine. When you calculate for 1 year, 2 terabyte multiply $23. So this is around nearly $1,000, $1,100. Let's assume that. Coming to this one, virtual warehouse. What is the credit limits? 955 credits, right? When it is 955 credits and $2 per credit, and they are having, let's assume that they are having some special discount. So when they are checking with the sales team, they have given some discount and then 0.95%, then it will be around $21,000. Totally how much they are charging? So nearly $23,000. So for this particular requirement from the users, right? So for the snowflake, this is including your data utilization. It means nothing but uh, computation, storage. Along with that, you are not going to bother about disaster recovery, and then patching management, and then versioning, and then data backup, and then partitioning capabilities. All these things they are taking care internally. We don't need any resources to handle all these things. All this together, and at the same time, it is a cloud. All this together, they are going to charge this much amount. So, right, this is the pricing. The same way, same requirement If any other on-premises, if you go for licensing, so on-premises thing, then it will be, so if you compare, so this one, so the by the recent surveys, so who is using Snowflake, they are coming up and then they are telling that they are saving nearly 50% to 60% of the pricing. So when they are what they are spending on-premises, this is so the cost, right? 50%, 50 to 50%, so 50 to 60% lesser than so what they are spending now. At the same time, it's very fast, right? It's very fast, 5x faster so than the traditional system. So that's why, so every, like nowadays every organization, so when they want to move for the cloud, the warehouse, they are moving to the Snowflake. Okay, this is one thing. So how the pricing will be calculated on the higher level. Okay, these are the parameters what they will consider. Okay, now, so why we discuss this pricing model? So based on this pricing model, based on this credit limit, you can able to control your credits utilization. It means, now observe this one thing here. Let me close this one. Come here, worksheet. When you are utilizing virtual warehouse, here virtual warehouse utilization will be there. This here we have only two virtual warehouses, and come to the accounts, we have option called resource monitoring. See this one, resource monitoring. This is the resource monitoring concept. This, by using this resource monitoring concept, we can able to control the credit limits. It means I will give you one example, then we can understand very clearly what is this credit limit, why we need to control. Suppose let's assume that you are using credit card, okay, and this credit card limit will be, let's assume that $1,000, okay. For example, same credit cards, you have taken add-on cards for your family, CC1, credit card 1, and credit card 2. This is your main card. These two are add-on cards. You given it to the family members. This is for 100. You have given a setup a limit for this add-on card, $100. This one is $150. Let's assume that. Okay, we given it to the kids. Let's assume. So then on your total account, all three cards together, what is the credit limit? Only 1,000. But when they are using CC1 add-on card, then here only 100 credit limits. Once it is reached, then what will happen? It will decline your transactions, right? It will not allow you to so successful transactions, right? It will decline, the transactions will fail. On the complete account, suppose you are using in a month, your credit limit is 1,000. Within a month, you have utilized all these 1,000 credits, 100% utilization. Then is it going to allow your transaction for your next purchase? No, right? It will decline, and then it will tell that so all the credits has been utilized. All the credits has been utilized, right? So that is a another thing. Now, so let's come to so how we can able to control. So what you are doing here to control, we have set up a credit limit. At the same time, so you will get a alert also. Whenever we are using these credit cards, we will get a alert, right? How much percentage of credit limit you have utilized, and you don't want to utilize this particular credit card, so then more than $100, then you can set up a credit limit, and then so after the 100, if they are trying to use more than this, it will stop utilizing, right? Same concept here we have for a resource monitoring to control credit limits of your virtual warehouse. Let's assume that, now observe this one, we are creating virtual warehouse, let's say virtual warehouse for developer, right? Virtual warehouse, this is for all the developers. Okay, let it be this small virtual warehouse, and then click on finish. One virtual warehouse we created. Again, let's create it, and here, so for all the testers, virtual warehouse for testers. We created another virtual warehouse. I will give only small for this, extra small for this. Let's finish. And we will create another virtual warehouse for the data load, for data load process. Here I have used medium. Okay, and then finish. Now, how many virtual warehouses we have here? We have like around 5 virtual warehouses. If you remember, when you created our trial account, we have $400 credit limit per month. Not more than that we can use, right? Only $400 credit limit per month. Now, when you observe this, how to set up a credit limit, come to the account, you can able to see resource monitor. You can see resource monitor. So before going to this, so let's show you some diagram we can understand very clearly. So how to work with this resource monitor. Come to the credit quota. See this one. This is for the complete account. How many virtual warehouses we are having within that account. So for all together, you have 5,000 credit limits. 5,000 credit limits. You can create a resource monitor. It means it will keep on monitoring the utilization of virtual warehouse, how much credits you are utilizing. If it is exceeding or if it is reaching some percentage, then it will go for a action. Then it will go for a action. And at the same time, it will do, it will send notifications. There is two things. One is it will send notifications. That is one thing. Another one is it will take action. It will take action when the your credits limit is reached. So for example, let's say come here. Resource before creating resource monitor, what you need to do is you need to create a notification service. Observe this notification. It's not service, it's a notification you need to be enabled. Come to the notification. Here, how you want to get the notification when resource limit is reached. Generally, when you are using the credit card, you will get it for your mobile and then you will get it for your email, right? So both the notifications you will receive the same process here. Now observe this settings. You will have click on a notification. You will have two things. One is notify me by web or email. Web means in your this particular window, it will display your credit limit is utilized. Your credit limits is utilized. And email means it will send a email. So when you registered the account, you will have the email details and your details, right? It will send an email to this one. Now come to the notification and then click on all. Observe this. All means it will send in, it will pop up in a web and then it will send a email notification. This is the first thing what you need to do to create resource monitor. Now let's come to worksheet. This one, sorry, warehouse, where it is now in a account window, resource monitor. Come to the resource monitor and click on create resource monitor. Now observe how you are creating a monitors. You can create n number of resource monitors to watch your virtual warehouse credit limits utilization. Now let's observe this one. How many virtual warehouses we have? Around 5 virtual warehouses, right? Right? For all these virtual warehouses, you can create monitoring. The combination of the virtual warehouses also you can create a monitor. You can create a resource monitor. Now let's observe this. How to create it? Come here and I will give RM. This is two things. We have one thing is account level, another thing is virtual warehouse level. Account level means all together how many virtual warehouses you are using. All together, if you create a resource monitor, then that is a account level. Individually, if you create a resource monitor, that is a individual, virtual warehouse level. Okay, so you can create all together one, and then individual virtual warehouse also you can create it. Let's come here. Observe this. account level we are creating resource monitor. What is the like credit limits we got when you created a trial account? $400, right? Monitoring level, observe this. Complete account, it will not allow you to utilize more than 400. Okay, come to this percentage. See this one. Okay, before that, schedule. It means from at what time it has to start monitoring this. If you want immediate, don't change any settings here. See this one, immediately it will start monitoring. If you want this monitor, so should be, so from tomorrow, so from day after tomorrow, any specific day, you can click later. And it will reset every monthly once or weekly once, yearly. So most probably it will be weekly or monthly. So based on our like organization requirement, we will go for that. So generally it will be, so weekly or monthly will be there. It's up to source. Now what it will do, reset means, so this particular month you have a credit limit of 400. Once it is 1 month completed, again it will start, so from the, so it will reset from the zero, again it will calculate from the zero. It means every month it will reset from the zero, right? So that is nothing but a, so reset option. Now so Jens, when you want to stop monitoring, if you don't want to stop, you can never, it will be never. If you want to stop, you can click on and then you can so mention the date. Okay, now these are the default settings, let it be. Now action and notification, what it has to be performed. Now if you observe here, suspend and notify when, let's observe 80%, and suspend and, so suspend immediately and notify. There is a difference. Suspend and notify means what it will do is, observe this, what it is telling, it will allow current running query to complete. Then it will suspend the virtual warehouse. Once it is reached 80% of the credit limits what you have utilized, it will this particular suspend and notify. It will allow current query to run. So after that, so it is going to stop the virtual warehouse. Suspend immediately. Let's say it has been reached 90% of the credit limit. You want to suspend immediate means, observe this, it will abort all the running queries also. It will not allow any queries running in the backend. It will stop all the queries immediately. That is nothing but suspend immediate. Suspend immediate. That it will, any query is running, then it will stop that. So because of this, suspend and notify, 90% we have given. And notify when you need a email notification. Suppose 70% of the utilization, and before that I want, so 50% of the, once 50% utilization is completed, send a notification. After that 70% is completed, send me a notification. After that take a actions. These suspend and then suspend immediate are actions, right? So 80%, so you can allow the running query, after that suspend. 90% you can abort the running query and then you can start. That is the meaning of this. Now if you create, observe this, resource monitoring created for the account level, it immediately will start, so capturing the, so how much utilization you are doing, and then credit quota is 400 per month. See this one, per month, and then remaining quota it is telling here, and it is started immediately, and it will notify. So these particular percentages, it will suspend for 80%, it will suspend immediate for 90%, right? So these are the things what we are having. It is started monitoring. Now let's create another monitor. This is for, so resource monitor for, let's assume that some user I will give. Okay. Now here credit limit will be 100, and this is for virtual warehouse. Now how many virtual warehouses we have? I will give it for test. Okay. This particular single virtual warehouse. You can assign this monitor when it is coming to the virtual warehouse, multiple virtual warehouses also. Now let's say this is for compute warehouse and then this is for the test virtual warehouse. Both together we included in resource monitor. Now when you observe this, so there is small logic here, 70, then 90, let it be, and then notify. So when 70% utilized. When you create it, now this particular user virtual warehouse, it is assigned for, see this one, warehouse level, and then warehouse level, when it is coming to this, it assigned two virtual warehouses. It means two virtual warehouses monitoring by single monitor. This is fine. Now observe this, immediately it started calculating. See this, how many credits you are utilizing, how much remaining, right? It is showing the so information here. Okay. Now once one resource monitor, so it's assigned to these virtual warehouses. Now again, if you create a resource monitor for this particular any of the virtual warehouse, it means already this virtual warehouse is monitoring by this one. If you try to create another resource monitor and if you assign this any one of the already existing monitors which is monitoring, then it will be reassigned, because no need to watch. So both the monitors, so far single virtual warehouse, for example here monitor 1, monitor 2, monitor 3. If you create monitor 4, if you assign again to the virtual warehouse, then there is no use, right? Already these virtual warehouse is monitoring by this one, then why we are creating again another monitor? It is not required basically, right? The same concept here. Observe this, create another one virtual warehouse or resource monitoring for load. Okay, here I will give 150 and warehouse level. Observe this, already this particular is monitoring. Okay, let's give compute warehouse. Now what will happen? See this one, warehouse that are already monitored will be reassigned to this one. Previously this warehouse is monitoring by, we have given it for, so user, resource monitor user, another monitor. Now when you observe this, see this one, you can give some settings, 80 and then 90 and notify, optional. So give create. See this, what it is telling, warehouse that is already monitoring will be reassigned. This warehouse is already monitoring, you can observe here also. See this one, monitoring by, right? This is already monitoring. When you observe this usage account level, see this one, these two are already monitoring. If you create another one again, then what will happen? It will try to reassign. Now observe this, create. Now what happened? It's created three virtual warehouses, three separate monitors. It is monitoring. Now observe the warehouse now here. What happened? Previously it is for compute warehouse and then test warehouse. This particular user, this one, right? This particular, the resource monitor user, this is assigned to compute and test. Now what we have done, so we created another virtual warehouse monitor, resource monitor for this. So we assigned a compute warehouse. From here it's reassigned to this one. Okay, so this is the so logic when you are creating resource monitor. But one thing, this resource monitor will be created only by account admin. Not everyone can be able to create a resource monitor. Okay, so and this one what it will do, it will keep on monitoring. So how much your utilization is happening here. Once this utilization is completed, whatever the percentage you assigned for the each and every monitors, then it will send a notification. It will send us a notification, guys. This is the concept of, so how to control your virtual warehouse credits related to the pricing. One thing, so one question here, so in interviews they will ask, can you able to control storage in resource monitor? Not possible. We are controlling only your virtual warehouse utilization, that's it. your virtual warehouse utilization, that is nothing but related to computation. Here the storage is completely, it's a elastic. So we are not going to control anything related to storage. This is related to your computation or processing layer. That's it. Remember this point. And then so try to create a resource monitors and then try to implement that. So next session what we will do is we'll discuss about this partitioning and clustering. These two things completely, it's a theoretical part. You will not have any option to control, create a partition and create a indexes like a traditional databases. What you will do, so as a like admin, so you are going to create a partitions, you are going to create a indexes to improve the performance. All those things you will not do in snowflake. Everything will be taken care by snowflake team itself. As a user, you will not have a rights to create partitions. You will not have rights to create indexes and all these things. Okay, let's uh, so we'll discuss this in the next session. So we'll stop it here. Any questions?
I have a question. Like,
Yes, you
so
tell me.
this computation
Mm,
credits per hour, right? Now,
correct.
what does this computation mean? That means the moment we
Mm,
open we log
yep.
in, the
No, no,
computation
no.
starts.
I will tell you. No, no, no. It's not like that. See this. If you observe the small radio button icon here, is it active now? It's in
No.
idle state, right? It is not in green. Now it is going to charge when you start utilizing this. Now observe this one. When I am running this query, this particular query we are trying to run, and then observe this one, this radio button. Now what happened? It turned into green,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How much time it is going to run? Here we have a timing, total duration, right?
Mm.
Suppose it is 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, based on, depends on the query, right? How much time it is calculating the end of the day for this compute warehouse. How much time a consolidated all the like queries, and then it will calculate the timings, how much time it has ran. Based on that it will charge. When it is in like a idle state, when it is in suspended state, it will not be charged.
Okay. So
Clear, right? Yeah.
yeah. So the calculation which is showed for that 8 users per
Mm.
hour, right? So that
Correct,
does
exactly.
not really reflect the actual thing because it will get.
True. Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct. Approximately we are implementing.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions?
Sir,
Yes, Odaya, tell me.
in compute warehouse,
Mm.
first, if I choose small size,
Mm.
can we change small size to the medium size?
Yes, definitely. Observe this one here. Resize. You can
Mhm.
resize immediately, but
Oh,
it has been
it-
resized, right? But so whatever the running query, so you ran on extra small, right?
Hmm.
It will complete that with the extra small virtual warehouse t-shirt size. Next query, it will take the next level.
Oh, okay.
Current
After
query will complete with the same size. Next
Mhm.
query only, so it will take the this particular the medium size.
Our changes. Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question here.
Sir, who will take
Yeah,
care of this pricing and all? As a developer, do we need to take
no,
care
no,
of
no.
it?
We won't do any kind of implementations here for resource monitoring or pricing. Who is deciding which virtual warehouse we have to utilize? These things
Okay.
will be, it's a combination of architect will be involved, and then from the Snowflake team, so they will get in touch with us, and then we will explain our requirement. This is the load. This much of the data will load on everyday basis. Then they will suggest which virtual warehouse you can go for. If you want more like fast,
Uh,
then so you can increase the virtual. These things will be higher level. Okay, no need to worry about up the developer level.
so this create resource monitoring and all. and
Yes.
all these
Yeah.
also.
Resource monitoring, sometimes it will be assigned to the developers also. You can able to do that. But so you should have admin privileges, account admin roles. Then only you can able to do that.
Mm, okay.
So in that case, like suppose I am running a query and
Mm,
I find that as a developer that
mm,
it is running slow.
mm,
So
mm,
immediately I would like to change to the another level, like
mm, mm.
size. So
Virtual
in
warehouse
that case,
sites.
yeah. So in that
Mm.
case, is it possible for me to do that, or it has to be done by a administrative?
No, it is not possible. So it has to, we need a, generally what will happen is we need to intimate that. So this is running so very slow. So can I go ahead and then increase the virtual warehouse size? If you have a permissions like account admin roles, we can able to do that. Otherwise, we have to wait for them and then they will going to increase the size.
Okay.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yes, Lata, tell me.
Like, in our previous class, we are giving grant permissions to the tables, schemas,
Correct.
um,
Warehouse. Yes.
warehouse
Mm,
and all, right?
mm,
So,
mm,
as a developer, do we
mm.
need to do? Do we need to give the permission to all these, or somebody will be there to give the permission?
Someone will be there to so control all these things. Generally it
Okay.
will given to any one senior persons. They will
Okay.
give the like these grants permissions and they will create a roles and they will create a users, but you need to know
Okay.
how the things is working in the back end.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, if you observe in any project, you may not see all these roles. Here we are with the account admin role, we can see that. Suppose let's assume they have assigned a developer role. Okay, if you go to the developer role, so now observe this. Can you able to see the here you can able to see that. Let's come to this account admin. Let's change it to
Yes.
developer, right? So here you will not have permission to use all the databases, all the schemas. Now observe this one, right? These are the restrictions will be there. At the same time, so you cannot able to see every like option here, all the roles, whatever the roles assigned to this particular developer only. So to this user, only those roles can be you can able to see. But this is the default user what we are having. You can able to see it. Mm.
Thank you.
Uh, I have a question regarding the cloning. So you said that
Mm.
cloning is basically a copy of the original one without
Yes,
having a storage, right?
without storing.
Now,
Yes.
yeah. So the purpose of that cloning, suppose if we have made some changes in the
Mm.
after copying it, right? After cloning,
Mm-hmm.
we made some changes. I
Mm.
want to reflect those changes in the original one.
Mm.
How
Mm.
do I do?
Mm, mm. So if you want to reflect that changes in the original one, so here, so we have a concept of data sharing concept. So by using data sharing, we can able to do that. But here, when you are using a cloning, that is not possible.
Okay.
If you
So
want to reflect the changes,
the purpose of cloning is just to basically have a copy, but
exactly,
whatever we can do some tests and that's all. But if we
exactly. That's
want to implement that changes, again we have to go back to our original this thing and then do the changes there.
yes, you're correct understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, good one.
Sir,
Any other questions?
hello.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a question in masking policy.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Tell me.
like when we are creating that masking policy, we just
Mm,
yesterday we added only 2 roles, right?
correct. Mm,
So after some time, if you want to
mm,
add one more role, can we do that?
mm. Yeah, we can do that. We can alter that masking policy and then we
Oh,
can add another role also.
okay. Okay.
Possible.
Thank
Good.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Sir, it seems that query
Wait a
you
minute.
ran, like select query, still running.
Hmm.
What's like that long it's running?
So this one, so because of now if you observe the how much data it is in this particular table, so this is very huge volume of the data as for our like implementation they have given. This I will discuss in next session. Now observe this one. I am running this particular line item. Now observe how much data it is, 160 GB.
On
Observe how many billions of records we have, right?
yes.
So because of this, there is a concept of cluster by. If I use cluster by here by where condition, it will give you the result within 1 second. Now observe
Okay.
this one, statement executed, and then it is telling that 28. So milliseconds, this is different
Minutes.
thing. Still it is running, it seems.
Yeah.
Now, let me go to open history. This is a query. See this one from last 8 minutes. So 57 seconds, still it is running. If you observe, so this one, the back end, see this. So most expensive nodes you can able to see the result. It is taking some time, and then it is going to how many partitions we have. So all this information. So it is giving some information in the back end. So how much data based on the volume of the data, it will take some time. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
We will see that in the partition class. I will explain this. So how to like increase the performance of this particular thing. So what is the purpose of this partition? What is the purpose of the cluster by column? All these things we will discuss in the next session. Okay, yes. Before winding up, any other questions? Okay. Thank you, everyone. So we'll connect tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.